Now, something is happening in Texas, and Jasmine Crockett is cracking under the pressure. She's in full panic mode because, for the first time, her seat is not guaranteed. The mask she's worn for years is slipping, and it's slipping fast.
I don't think that it's an accident that Donald Trump picked up the phone, called down to Texas, told Abbott what he was going to do, and like a small, ridiculous child, he just fell in order. I don't think any of that was an accident.
I don't think those boots was an accident. Y'all see these boots?
But what I can tell you is that we will not be an accident. We, the people of Texas, will be very intentional about making sure that they hear us, about making sure that we call them out for what they're doing. This is racist, what they are doing.
Hold on. We heard you say racist, but did I just hear crickets? Hold on, y'all. I literally just heard crickets. Hold on.
Call them out for what they're doing. This is racist, what they are doing. Let me hear you. That is coming up with policies that will help all people, no matter what their ethnic background. They have decided, never mind, we want to dilute the voices of black and brown. Well, I got news for you. In this state, the majority is black, brown, and Asian. We will not sit idly by while a wannabe dictator decides that he's going to silence us.
Okay, all of that screaming, yelling, what have you. Now, this isn't just a protest. This is what it looks like when power starts to slip away. Crockett's screaming at a redistricting plan, claiming it's racist, that it silences voices. But what she won't tell you is what she's really afraid of. Losing her seat. And not only losing her seat, but to lose it to someone who actually listens to the people. And as Twitter and YouTube has been framing it, a rising MAGA candidate, yeah, he's closing in right now. And an empire built on outrage and sound bites, all that is falling apart. But if you think that meltdown was wild, wait until you hear how the media reacts and also tells her the truth about herself.
Oh, how noble and sacrificial of her. Which is the real Jasmine Crockett, though? Well, the call for public service came and Jasmine answered. Mm-hmm. But back to that Atlantic profile, they saw something else in Crockett, a raging narcissism. And for a woman who claims to be so tough, she has exceedingly thin skin. They described her as highly conscious of her self-presentation. Crockett wore acrylic nails painted with the word resist and a set of heavy lashes over her brown eyes. The lock screen on her phone is a headshot of herself.
Oh, wow.
And Crockett apparently thinks she should be able to control to whom a journalist speaks when they're actually reporting a profile. 4 days before this story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I'd reached out to so many House members without telling her first. She told me, shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions. Yeah. And yet another gem that speaks to Crockett's highly racialized view of the world from the same profile. Crockett said that Hispanic Trump supporters had almost like a slave mentality.
What?
I asked Crockett whether she had ever regrets about her public comments. She raised her eyebrows and replied, I don't second guess. You know how that ends. Well, bless her heart. Now, she may be a...
She said, I don't second guess. A raging narcissist. That's what the Atlantic, not Breitbart, or not even Fox, or Baybird, I don't even know I said it right. But not yet, like I said, not even them called her. That was the Atlantic. She wasn't mad about fake news. She was sure to be mad about them telling her the truth. That's what she was pissed about. That's what it was. Fake lashes, resist nails. She went all out, didn't she? But the lock screen of herself. And obviously when this article dropped, she tried to have it shut down. So much for transparency. This ain't leadership, at least from her. It's Photoshop with a podium. But let's keep going, because once you see how she justifies her seat, you'll understand why this unraveling isn't just embarrassing. It's historic.
Right? So thinking about it in that way, a reflective map would look like the fact that only 39% of this state is Anglo. So how in the heck do we have 60% of the seats that go to DC are going to be decided by Anglos? That's the math that doesn't work. We need to flip the numbers so that people of color, no matter who they vote. So thinking about it in that way, a reflective map.
This wasn't a policy argument. This was a racial power grab, if you will, on full display. Forget qualifications, forget ideas. Crockett believes skin color should determine who gets to lead. But what happens when that logic gets flipped on her? Watch this.
Hey, I'm Sheldon Daniels, Republican candidate for Texas's 30th congressional district. Let's set the record straight on something I keep hearing from Jasmine Crockett and her media friends. It's this wild idea that Republican redistricting is somehow about diluting minority voices, when the crazy thing is, you know what's funny? The very district she represents, TX30, our district, was created by Democrats through racial gerrymandering. That is not speculation, that is historical fact. Back in 91, the legislature, entirely controlled by Democrats, drew TX30 after the census. On the surface, they claimed it was to empower Black voters, but dig deeper and you'll find the real reason why they did it. It was designed to isolate Black voters, to pack them into a single district so that the white Democrats in the surrounding districts wouldn't face organic primary challengers from like these rising Black leaders. It was about control and power. It wasn't about sharing it. TX30 was never drawn to give people more choice. It was drawn to give politicians, career politicians, more security. So when Jasmine Crockett screams racism at the new map, she's completely ignoring the fact that her entire seat was born from that very same political game. So let me be clear, since she likes to say that, I support redistricting because Texas law allows it when the population shifts, when the voting trends demand it, and not just every 10 years. Article 3, Section 28, and the truth is TX30 has changed. You know, there are more people, it's more diverse, the needs are greater, the voices are louder, a lot more conservatives. And so this isn't really about race, it's really about fairness. It's not fair that the conservatives have nobody. Fair maps, everybody's vote is the same. That's what we want. And so, to be honest, if your political survival depends on a map that was drawn 30 years ago to lock people in and shut out others, maybe it's time for you to go. Maybe it's time for you to go. So I'm Sheldon Daniels. I'm fighting to return power to you, to the people, to the voters of this district, and to Americans, not to the political class. And so I'm asking you, let's win this thing together. Please visit my website, danielsforus.com, and let's keep this thing going. Jasmine Crockett for they, them. Sheldon Daniels is for you.
I like that. That was clever. You know, Jasmine Crockett is for they, them. Sheldon is for you. That's a quotable right there. That's one of those ones I wish I would have came up with. But boom. That's the truth you were never supposed to hear. Right there. Her seat, TX30, created through racial gerrymandering by Democrats. Not to empower Black voters, but to contain them, to keep them, us, from challenging white liberal elites in nearby districts. So all this yelling about dilution is projection. What she is defending is the very system she claims to oppose. And while she's busy yelling at on Capitol steps and chasing these cameras, real Black voices, they've had enough.
Back to the Black Truth Challenge. Next up, Jasmine Crockett. By popular demand, Jasmine Crockett. People sent you to Washington to do the bidding of the people in your district. But all you seem to do is be focused on putting your name in lights. Maybe getting a gig on SNL. But it's not about the people who are suffering and struggling in your own district. Remember them? Jasmine Crockett's focused on two things: knocking Trump and clout. And not necessarily in that order. Jasmine Crockett, you claim to fight for black communities. Why aren't you doing that instead of chasing clout? Tag someone else with the Black Truth Challenge. Let's make this trend. Jasmine Crockett, challenge. The clock's ticking. What's your answer? You hear us. Who's next? Tim Black Show. Out.
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.
Shout out to the Tim Black Show. Definitely, y'all go check him out and what he represents. Super cool, chill guy. I don't know him personally, but from his content, he seems pretty sincere. Now, this is coming from within the culture at that. People who gave her a shot but watched her trade representation for clout. And when the community you say you fight for is starting to call you out, it's already too late. But here's the part that should make every voter stop dead in their tracks. Because Jasmine Crockett accidentally told the truth about how Democrats stay in power. And it's not by owning votes.
All right, let's just cut the crap, okay? Jasmine Crockett is not a leader. And the rejection that she just caught from her Democrat overlords proves it. She's a Marxist-minded, melanated puppet. Yes, I said it. And the hands that are pulling the strings, it's a bunch of freak, nasty, diddy-crap billionaires that use black faces to protect white liberal power. So if you're a Democrat and you think that your vote matters more than their money, yeah, you've already been played, because this is not politics. This is something else. What you need to understand is that Democrats don't pick black leaders. They purchase them. And the price, sometimes it don't even cost that much, but usually the silence is the price, because they're silent on faith, family, education, safety, and especially silent on economic freedom. So Jasmine Crockett, she isn't serving her community. She's serving the donor class. And you are about to listen to her tell you herself who she's in bed with. You're not watching representation. You're watching a political slave auction funded by dark money and sealed with a whole lot of betrayal. So welcome to the new era of plantation management. And guess who's the product? You are. Coming up next on Unshakable with April Chapman. Let's get into it. You guys, welcome to Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm your host, April Chapman, and it's about time that we stop sipping on the Kool-Aid that these darn Democrats keep pouring, and instead, it is time that we actually analyze what the heck is in it. So today, we're going to be tackling something that should have been exposed years ago. Recently, a Democrat decided to say it out loud. And it wasn't just any Democrat. It was the Democrat darling. Well, kind of, sort of, but not really. It was everyone's favorite DNC sock puppet in an ugly lace front wig. Actually, she got a new wig this time, but she still got the caterpillar lashes. It was none other than Jasmine Crockett. Yes, the Texas lace front butterfly lash bandit herself got up in front of the camera during a press conference and admitted without shame, without a stutter, that dark money is how the Democrats plan to stay in power. Like, she said it, and I said, oh, wow, she really said this out loud. Now, she's able to say this not because it's what Democrats plan to do. No, dark money is how she got elected, and it's been their plan for the last few years. They've been doing this already. This is why, no matter how unpopular those Diddycrat ideas and policies are, Democrats will not abandon them, because one, they have to push whatever their freak nasty Diddycrat donor class wants to.
Yeah, you heard it. She said it out loud. Dark money, donor class, silence for sale. Jasmine Crockett's not a leader. She's a least mouthpiece for the same people who destroyed the neighborhood she claims to protect. This is not justice. It's political plantation management. And guess who the product is? You. This is what happens when truth finally punches through all this noise. Crockett screaming because she's scared, not of redistricting. I can't even say that. Redistricting. But because of accountability. And this knocking on the door. Now, if you're tired of the same lies wrapped in fake lashes and louder microphones, so make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and make sure you follow me on X, because team think, we never silence. We see through all the noise. And I got the shout outs coming right now for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got to give a huge shout out to Journey Dodge 5812. I got to give a shout out to Mary Turcottle. I tried. Michael Morris, RT. Shout out to all your baser belongings belong to us. What? Okay. John. And my bad, John. Johnny. Oh yeah, Johnny, this you again. How about Joy Fresh 1976? I really appreciate y'all for making this channel what it is. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.